like to apologize. We were up for a second, so we thought, and then we lost the platforms. So I hope that we're up and running right now. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. So again, definitely. So we're going to do that introduction again. Just welcome. We're here at Yahweh's Sabbath. We are the keepers of the house of light. My name is Yehuda ben Israel. And again, I'd like to just welcome you, and sorry for the technical delay. But let me introduce my brothers, beginning to my left.
Uriah ben Israel.
Obadiah ben Israel.
Praise Yah, my brothers. It's good to see you, brother Obadiah. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Elder Uriah. Praise Yah. And I hope everyone was able to tune in earlier today, last night, for our new moon. This is a new moon period for us in the new moon feast. And we had an excellent class by Elder Uriah entitled, Praise Yah, hallelujah, entitled The Divine Covenants. The Divine Covenants. And he went over, not exhaustively, but he went over the primary covenants that lay the foundation to our relationship to our Elohim, Yahweh of hosts. So, and one of those covenants is the circumcision of the flesh on the males. But we also learn part of that covenant implies and expressly states to have the circumcision of the heart. So we have to be in the spirit, as we understand now.
That's right.
And under this new Melchizedek covenant or lineage, priesthood, that Yahshua HaMashiach has brought to pass by his obedience. So we're blessed to be here today, and hopefully everyone is going to enjoy that Sabbath. But before we begin the class, I'm going to turn it over to Elder Uriah to go over our pre-reading, pre-class discussion reading.
Thank you, my elder. And I would like to start in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 4 and 5. And I'm sure you all know by now that this is a shema given to us by Yahweh himself through our prophets, which derive from the Hebrew word shamar, which means hear or listen. Listen to the law, commandment, and the statutes. Verse 4. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim is one other name, and thou shalt love Yahweh thy Elohim with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Yeah, that's the Shema. Praise Yahweh for it, you know. Now let's turn to the book of Matthew chapter 22. We're going to be reading from verse 34 through 40. And this we see here where the Messiah himself has magnified also the Shema. And because we are followers of the Mashiach, we need to do this also. Verse 34. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempted him, and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yeshua said unto him, Thou shalt love Yahweh thy Elohim with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophet.
Praise Yah. Praise Yah. You got many people to this day ask the question, who's my neighbor? Because they don't want to show love to certain people. So they try to find out who I don't have to love. Right now, in this truth.
Yeah.
How can you love who you don't see? If you can't love who you see.
Right.
Because there ain't no man seen Yahweh.
Right. You turn around. Yeah, you haven't seen Yahweh, but you love him.
Right.
But you see man every day.
Who's made in his image.
And made in his image. See, that's a profound thing with the Shema.
Yeah.
With that, but Yahshua magnifies that. Praise Yah, brother.
Praise Yah.
That's critical. We're not just reading all these words to read them. We have to go into these words. We said this many times ago, many times before. Obadiah, Deacon Obadiah mentioned it. It's one thing to read. It's another thing to study, to meditate. You have to meditate and study it. Really get anything. And find out, why would Yahshua say that? That's for you, the answer. Why would Yahshua tell you the second of the greatest commandments of is to love your neighbor like yourself?
Yeah.
If you love you,
there must be a reason why he said that in the first
it's
place.
a reason why, as a people, but you said it also. You made in Yahweh's image.
That's right.
Your brother's made in his image. So you love yourself, and that same thing goes to what? In married couples, a man is told to love his wife like he loves himself. That's your flesh. We have a problem loving our wives, because if you don't love your wife and you married to her, right? Yahweh said that's your flesh. Y'all bone and bone, flesh and flesh, y'all one. You don't love her. Don't come to me talking about Yahshua.
Right.
You go home and take care of your house.
That's it.
You can't love me. You can't love yourself.
He said, no man ever hated yet his own flesh.
Go ahead, brother.
That's right.
That's it.
So that's what's happening.
See, praise God. See, that's why we're here. Let's go. That's why the three of us here. Kick it. Go ahead, Uriah.
Praise Yah. Let's turn our attention to Matthew chapter 18.
The Spirit gonna do what He's gonna do.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's why
verse
Yahweh
1.
held us up.
That's right.
I see now. Go ahead, brother. I'll let you finish.
Matthew chapter 18, verse 20. For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah, man. That's a blessing to know that Yahweh don't need a million. Yeah, once two or three are gathered together, in the name of the Mashiach, the Spirit is there also.
Hey, truth be said, He don't need you. You just love your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. Truth be known, you're nothing special. Yahweh just loves you. You don't even understand how special you are.
He said, I could have raised stones up to be sons of Abraham.
Exactly.
Stones.
Exactly. But you came from the dirt. Why not a stone? Oops.
Ooh, can you do that, man?
Wow.
At least any flesh will get high minded.
Say that again.
At least any flesh will get high minded.
Praise Yah.
Oh yeah. And get cut off, man.
I'm something more than I am.
Yeah. Let's turn your attention to the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 13 and 14. Verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Shabbat, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Shabbat the delight, the holy of Yahweh, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, then shalt thou delight thyself in Yahweh, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of Yahweh has spoken it.
Praise Yah. Praise Yah. This is Yahweh's holy Shabbat. And I want to just clarify what I said. You're supposed to, if you're married, your wife, the book tells you about that. So people observe you. That's your action of love. Well, you say you love me as a brother, but I see you doing something totally different in your household with your wife. So if you can't love her in a certain way, I see why you can't love me.
That's taboo among Hebrews.
Oh yeah,
that topic.
Yeah.
Oh,
How dare we speak about this?
about a wife?
How dare we speak about this?
Oh yeah.
And, you know.
Oh yeah, they're hypocrites.
Yeah.
That's hypocrisy.
Yeah.
What can out? Whatever you're doing in the dark is going to be brought to the what?
So,
To the
Light.
light.
Yahweh going to bring all of it to the light. You may have let the keepers of the house of light bring it out. We ain't bringing out anything that's not written. You're playing games. But again, go ahead.
You know what? Within that new moon, last night, there was some simple laws that given out also that pertaining to divorce or marriage.
Correct.
Go ahead and read them, and see if Yahweh can bless, that union for you.
Right, because a covenant is an agreement
Yeah.
That's right.
between two people. It's a quid pro quo.
Yes.
You give one thing, I do the other, we have an agreement. Yahweh get the same thing, but it's a conditional covenant. And you're supposed to, that there's terms, we know the terms of that covenant in Exodus 20, right? So, with that said, you are in a covenant with your wife. So,
That's right.
and that's a strong covenant. That's a very important covenant. Because that's the bedrock of civilization.
That's right.
The man and the wife.
Yahweh hate divorce.
And he hate the divorce. And, but again, you know better, you do. You know more, you do better. What's that saying?
Yeah,
You do better.
Right.
That's all we can do.
Yes, sir.
But that's why we're here today as the keepers of the house of light. And who are we? The keepers of the house of light are dedicated to spreading the righteousness, love, mercy, and forgiveness of our Father, Yahweh, Elohim of hosts, by and through his Son, Yeshua the Messiah, or Yeshua HaMashiach, the Lamb of Yahweh, the King of Israel. He's the one that is given the throne of his father David, everlasting King. We discussed that last night.
That's right.
Yeah.
But Yeshua is also the high priest. We have to go through his name before we, in our prayers and our petitions, everything goes through him.
That's right.
He's the one that's worthy, right? He's that high priest that lives forever.
That's right.
He doesn't die. He died no more. And more, I wouldn't say more importantly, but definitely, he is our Redeemer and Savior, whose name be blessed forever.
That's right.
And we are here to teach and proclaim the gospel of Yeshua HaMashiach, who magnifies the law of Yahweh and makes it righteous. And before we jump into the class, I want to cover something in the book. We use this term a lot, and I want to clarify it, right? So it won't be any confusion. And let's go to Isaiah 42.
Isaiah 42.
That's 42. Make sure I'm in the right place. Okay. We're going to Isaiah 42. We use the term magnify the law, that Yeshua magnifies the law. I don't think we've really covered it. I want to make sure we cover it. So let's begin Uriah, and I want to put the proper context in. So here's the prophet Isaiah, and he's talking about, we're going to start at verse 13. But Isaiah is talking about the chastening of Israel, certain things that Israel had been doing. And it's prophetic. He talks about how they were chosen, how they became disobedient, and that, of course, that chastisement, and ultimately the restoration of Israel, right? So, but we're going to just go to verse 13 in the prophet of Isaiah, chapter 42. Begin reading there, my brother, and take it to 25.
Okay. Verse 13. Yahweh shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. I will make waste mountains and hills, and dry up all their herbs. And I will make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools. Verse 16. And I will bring the blind by the way that they knew not. I will lead them in the path that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them, and not forsake them. They shall be turned back. They shall be greatly ashamed that trust in graven images, that say to the molten images, you are our gods.
Okay.
Hear, you deaf, and look, you blind, that you may see.
And see, and he's talking to Israel. He says, but these are duality. That's talking about near time as well as our time. So don't look at this as just thinking about in historical antiquity. This is prophetic for us. Continue, brother.
Verse 19. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I send? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as Yahweh's servant?
Now, who is Yahweh's servant? Yahshua is, well, he's my Israel here. The nation.
Yeah.
Because he sent, but Israel's blind.
Yeah.
And he's talking about at that time and we're blind now.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So he's speaking the duality.
Right.
So he sent the servants. You're supposed to have been perfect. They had the oracles, they had the law, everything was given to them. Perfection. Right? But look at Yahweh's blind servants. Go ahead, continue, brother.
Verse 20. See many things, but though observe not, opening the ears, but ye hear it not. Yahweh is well pleased for his righteous sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable.
Okay, let's stop right there. We talk about, when we read the Shema, right? We go into the Shema and we go to Matthew 22, right?
That's correct.
And we say that, and then we say Yahweh, Yahshua is a magnification of the law.
That's right.
That means he's going to make it righteous. He's going to magnify. He's going to fill it up to put that full righteousness of it. The law is spirit. Like I said a couple last time. It's half full with the law and oracles, but Yahshua had to come to fulfill, to make it perfect with him. Right? So here it says Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. So this is speaking to the Mashiach, right? This is about Yahshua. Because, hey, he had to show you the weightier matters of the law. He came to show the people. This is what this law is all about. You have been misapplying it by the flesh, right?
That's what put our fathers in so many problems.
Exactly. And that's what this whole chapter is about. When you read the whole chapter of Isaiah 42, and as you're reading Isaiah, he's giving you that historical situation, and he's speaking of what's going on with people then, how they've been. But then go back to what you just said about the situations they've been in, our people, for not keeping the law. Well, we'll go ahead and read verse 22, and this tells you, the next verse tells you
exactly
the consequences of doing this. You need the Mashiach, because otherwise you are what? In verse 19, you are blind. And if you're with blind leaders, right, the blind leading the blind, and they're going to both fall in the ditch. But this book will open it up for you. So we can go, so you just read verse 21, continue what he says, and then you look, think about as he's reading, now you can reflect on the day.
That's right. Verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
Israel, black people.
Yeah. They are all of them snare in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore.
Praise, stop right there. I was talking to the sister this morning, this Sabbath, and this morning. But this is it. We're all snared in holes. We're in different religions. And religion don't necessarily mean a denomination like Christianity and Islam and all the different things. But it's also a state of mind.
That's right.
What your belief system is.
That's right.
Many of us are snared in holes of the doctrines of the land. Women's rights, men's rights, all kinds of
groups, right? Let me put it out there.
Feminism.
Yeah.
And then this male bashing that's going on now.
Now you got the male bashing. So you got all type of things. You got the sexualization issues now. People want to be this. You know, you got the all type of belief systems, and our people are snared in these things.
Yeah.
Right.
Transformation.
Yeah, they're trapped.
Yeah, they're trapped.
They can't get out of it.
That's right.
So you got that's a snare to their that's a snare to them coming into the truth right now, because they can't hear me right now until Yahweh let them hear. They can't hear you right now or you.
That's right.
But they're snared in these holes, and they are, and this is clear, and they're hid in prison houses. Look at the incarceration rate of black men in America. It's out of control. Yes, there are certain things the system is set up to incarcerate, right? But why are you breaking the law of the land?
That's right.
But you're murdering,
Right.
you're shedding innocent blood every day in the streets of America. All manner of crime against your brothers, against your neighbors, against your mothers, against your sisters, right? Is that love of the Shema? Is that the love of Yahshua? Love your neighbor like yourself? I'm talking to you, brothers.
No.
I'm asking. You know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah, but you know what? You know, this gives us a better understanding why, you know, the Messiah need to come.
Right. We're full of sin.
Oh man.
Sin is ruling the place. I'm going to go there, but I wanted you to, and when you look at that, when you are prey, that means there has to be a predator
Of course.
after you.
I was looking up a statistic here, and it was showing that 38% of the prisoners in federal prison is so-called black men.
Right.
But we only make up 12 to 13% of the population.
Exactly.
So that's a very high.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because
perspective, 13% of the population
and 38%.
Yes.
That means they over police and they give you more and more jail time. And the president is looking at releasing a lot of the black men in federal prison, but they've gotten these high jail times for drug offenses.
Yes.
And that the laws have, it says, well, they max out on 30, 40, 50 years, you know. But again, if you are, this book says, they are hidden prison houses, they are for a prey. In order to be a prey, you got to have a predator.
That's right.
And Satan says, the Mashiach says, Satan is like a roaring lion, roaming, seeking who he can devour. You're being devoured up by Satan because you're breaking the Most High's laws. You're just breaking laws of decency. Right?
So you have no protection.
You have no protection. So Satan just take you up at his whim. And finally, it says, and none delivers for a spoil, and what it says, they are for prey, and none deliver. Nobody kind of gets you out of nothing. For a spoil, and none says restore. Ain't nobody talking about reparations for you. Seriously.
Isn't that Deuteronomy 28?
Yes, I.
Yeah.
You know, he says, no man shall buy you.
No man shall buy you. Nobody's going to redeem you out of this,
That's right.
out of this captivity.
Yeah.
So yes, we are in a bad situation.
Very bad.
But let's continue. Let's see why you're in this situation. Right, finish it on up, brother. It tells you why you're here.
Verse 23. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come?
Uh-oh. That's this now.
Yep.
We're in it now, right?
Yep. 24. Who gave Jacob for spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not Yahweh, he against whom we have sinned?
That's right.
For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
Cause and effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who gave you over? Your Elohim put you in this situation.
Right.
Yep. Verse 25. Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it had set him on fire round about, yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart.
Today, you're not even laying it to heart. You're catching hell in every aspect of your lives.
That's right.
You're catching hell. You're burning. That's what I'm just going to make it simple. It said what? Yahweh's demanding our people. That's why we're in this situation.
That's right.
He says, I have poured Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of his battle. And it has set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not. That's why I said you're catching hell, that fire. Not that you're going to go out from hell, you die and go to hell.
Right.
No, you're catching hell. You're on fire in America. And you don't even ask the spiritual questions. We're trying to put profit to you to answer the, are we not?
That's
We
right.
got to raise you. What is the reasoning for this? Why?
So there's a cause and effect for all things. So we have to look at things spiritually and see what is the cause.
Exactly.
And what part do we play? And then not only that, what can we do? Now that you do know.
Exactly.
Okay, so we know who we are. Okay, so now Yahweh's woken us up. He shows us our relationship. So what are we going to do now? That's the question.
That's the question.
You have to
For us,
you have to take that step forward.
Yeah.
Number one, by following the law.
That's right.
You
Exactly.
know,
That's right.
where, you know, if you instill these things in you, of course, you're going to become one of the wisest men. You know, when I said wise, gradually as a nation, among all the other nations.
This is why we need the law.
Yeah.
you need this law.
You know, like how you go there. Let's go to Psalms 83. Because it's you know, it's like you say, we see things around us and we don't take it to heart.
Right.
And don't even take notes.
And that's why I want to make sure when we went through Isaiah, that's what Yahshua has done. He's magnified the law. It's taking it out of the hands. So you can't just say, I keep the Sabbath. But what's in your heart? He wants you to walk in the spirit of the law. He's magnified. It's harder now. Because it's about you.
Yeah.
So Psalm 83.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to get the class going, but sometimes Yahweh want to do what he want to do. So let's just be obedient. Let's cover this.
That's right.
Praise Yah.
Praise God. Yeah, I'm just going to read verses 1 to... It says, 5. It says, keep not thou silence, O Elohim. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Elohim. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. It's like you say, we don't even take note.
We're not even taking note. Why? See, we're not even taking note. That's why I told somebody, we don't even see the invisible hand. And Yahweh got you among these people.
That's right.
And they have taken that counsel. We started in the book of Exodus with that same counsel. Come on, let us deal with them wisely. The same issues, what you just read, brother. So we have to have some understanding. So when we're so much in our feelings, in our emotions, we don't think that this word applies to real life stuff. It does apply to real life stuff. If you're wicked, you're doing wickedness. I know you're in captivity, but it doesn't mean you get to use it as an excuse, as a crutch, because you're still dying right here. That's what the book said. You're still going to catch it.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to go, if you think that this book is playing with you, if the book Yahweh is playing, keep on playing. And when we talk about certain things, but I just wanted to bring it out. You know, we blind, that don't matter. There are universal laws in effect. Don't tell me you don't know the difference between lying and the truth. Don't tell me you don't know that's wrong to steal. Yeah, you may steal because you're hungry, but then the book say our law covers that too. Correct. If a man is caught, we're going to break you down because you're hungry, you stole to eat. However, you are going to restore every bit of that. You're going to restore what you stole, though, right?
Yeah.
You think it's okay to steal?
Yeah, you think that's so. You're going to still pay the consequences, right? So we can't use excuses. Our forefathers didn't have no excuses in America here. In that bondage, they didn't know why they was in this bondage like this, and we don't. Many of us now just realizing why, right? So let's keep that in mind. Yahshua magnifies the law. That means he makes it perfect. He made it righteous, not you, not me. Yahshua made it perfect. He made it righteous.
He made a way for us.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
He made a way for us.
You know, I would like to read, if you don't mind, Luke chapter 4, just maybe 2 verses, verse 18 and 19.
Okay, the Gospel of Luke chapter 4.
Yeah, the Gospel, yeah.
Okay.
And that will help us, because that's what it was sent for. He said, verse 18, the Spirit of Yahweh is upon me, because he had anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He had sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captive, and recovering of the sight to the blind, and to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of Yahweh.
See, and praise Yah. That's the anointing of Yahweh, Yahshua.
That's right.
That's him. He carried out. He's completed the things that he was supposed to complete while in the earth.
That's right.
He's done those things, but he has more to do.
Yeah, more to do.
But we're telling you, you don't want to be caught up in a situation when he returns.
Right.
Because there's going to be death when he returns.
Mm.
You want to make sure that you are walking, that you're in the blood of the Mashiach. That's all I can say.
That's right.
So these are some things that we want to talk about. So now let's segue back to our where we are going to start our class in the book of Exodus, chapter 10. And our fathers are in the land of Egypt, and Moshe has been sent by Yahweh, and his brother Aaron has been sent to Pharaoh, and Yahweh has been doing magnificent plagues upon the land.
Mm-hmm.
But the beauty of this book, it talks about what Yahweh has done. If you watch the other classes, you'll see the different plagues and the different plagues that Yahweh is not only judging Egypt and what the brother Obi has been doing. He said, Yahweh said, I'm going to judge the gods of Egypt. So we've been showing you, last week we showed you not only the judgments that on Pharaoh, but on the gods. And he's been breaking down each of the gods. We covered 7 of those gods last week. With each judgment, there was a plague. And those gods were over those particular elements or particular aspects of Egyptian cosmology and their belief system.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do anything with Yahweh. He judged them. They were no gods.
Powerless.
They were powerless.
Can you imagine that?
Exactly.
Our next deity is judging your God.
Exactly. Showing that
There's no power in your God.
no power whatsoever.
And Pharaoh didn't know it. He said, "Who's this Yahweh?"
Who's this Yahweh? I ain't heard of him. He knew on set, right? He knew on set.
Oh,
I don't know anything. Hey, who are you to me? Why I got to listen to what this Yahweh saying?
Right.
You crazy. Matter of fact, y'all ain't got enough work. He put them tasks on, right? We covered all that.
That's right.
But one of the things before, we're going to start in the book of Exodus, chapter 10. But before we go there, Brother Obadiah, I want you to read out of Exodus 9, verses 15 through 17. Because this is what Yahweh is doing, and this is the same thing he's going to do in America.
That's right.
These things are not just done. America ain't become great, the fastest growing empire ever, out of nowhere. It wasn't done in the corner, but Yahweh got a plan. Just read Exodus 9, verses 15 through 17.
Okay. Verse 15. For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. And in very deed, for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
Okay, hold on now. He just said, read 17. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. And as yet exaltest thou thyself against my people, that thou wilt not let that go.
Okay. And he talked about in the very first thing, he had them to, I think it rained down hail. That grievous hail. So what Yahweh is telling us, he said in verse 15, he says that thou shalt be cut off from the earth, right? I'm gonna stretch my hand out, and in very deed, for this cause have I raised you up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
Yahweh, like, he gonna get that glory.
You get that glory. I built you up for this very purpose, man.
See, if he was a peasant, he wouldn't even be significant.
Exactly.
He made Pharaoh and Egypt become beyond the empire.
Right, a powerhouse.
A powerhouse.
We still talking about Egypt this very day.
Yeah.
Verse 17. As yet, what? Exaltest thyself against my people,
Okay.
that thou wilt not let them go. So now what's going on today in the we call America she is Egypt, because this is our second captivity.
That's
the
right.
long captivity here. This is Egypt for us. Because Yahweh said in Deuteronomy 28:68, I'm gonna bring you into Egypt again with ships.
That's right.
Right?
That's
This
right.
is where we are.
That's right.
And you're gonna be sold there by bond. You came out of this one. We're showing you now how Yahweh's taking us out the first Egypt. But he also, the book prophesies how we're going to go into the second Egypt, how we're going to find that ourselves be sold as bondmen and bondwomen in this second Egypt. And no man's going to redeem us.
That's right.
So here we are in the second captivity in Egypt, reading about our fathers in the first Egypt and how Yahweh with a strong hand and with fury poured out is going to deliver them out of it.
That's right.
So isn't this interesting?
Signs of the times.
The signs of the time. Here we are in Egypt reading about our fathers in the first Egypt. And this is no coincidence.
Yeah.
And but hasn't this country exalted all the nations that got us? Have they not exalted themselves against us?
Yes, sir.
That's
Who
right.
are y'all?
That's
You
right.
ain't nothing.
That's right.
They don't beat us down so bad.
No, I said lowly. Go ahead.
Lowly. We got low self-esteem.
That's what the nations say. They said they sinned against their God. You know, we haven't sinned. You know, we don't offend because they sinned against their God. He gave them into our hands.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then, but I love that's written. But then we come back in Isaiah 47. Yeah, I did that. I was angry with my people.
Okay.
I was wroth with them. And I placed them in and I defiled them. And I placed them in your hands. But you showed them no mercy. You're right.
That's right.
You heavily laid your yoke
That's
against
right.
the ancients.
He knew they were going to do it.
You know how to do it. So now when they say, Yahweh got a retort for them.
That's
Now,
right.
yeah, I was angry with them, but I didn't tell you to do all that. You took that, you brought forward the affliction. I didn't tell you to rape, set folks on fire. I didn't tell you to do all that wickedness that you did.
No.
Your blood, you got blood from all across the transatlantic, hidden from the transatlantic, hidden right into the Caribbean, all the way to South America, bloodshed, all the way to the Americas, bloodshed. And now you don't want the people, the children of the Holocaust,
Let's not teach them.
the teachers, you don't even want to talk about it.
Let's not talk about it.
We giving our children. No, your children going to have a problem more than this. Because what you've done to us and our children.
And that's funny because that goes against Yahweh's prophecy because he says in Jeremiah that in that day they're going to come in the land and say, our fathers inherited
Oh
life.
yeah, it's coming.
That's
So
right.
Yeah,
That's
they're going
right.
to be survivors. They're going to be survivors to say, yeah,
Inherited life.
we of all the nations, not just Europe,
That's right.
it's some other nations. Yeah, your time. Yeah, y'all going to get it, but that's not our job to see because we're getting ours at this very moment.
That's right.
We're getting it right now, and we not. Because we disobedient.
That's right.
We don't even know we're being disobedient. But we do know, but you can't say you don't know wrong from right.
So you without
You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're not in a hole when you murder somebody.
Right.
When they catch you, you say what they say when they get in court. I'm sorry for what I did.
Give them some time to think about
Yeah,
it.
you get time, life.
Right.
You're gonna think about it for 50, 100 years maybe, but you'll figure it out.
Right.
So these are the things that we're looking at. So when we're looking at this Exodus, Yahweh, this is all set up by Yahweh. He allowed the ancient Egyptian civilization to become great, right? Just for this purpose.
Yes, yeah.
So what's our purpose?
Bro, man.
Hey, we're
Man.
right. We're right here today.
Praise
Doing what we're
Yeah.
supposed to be doing.
To preach this gospel.
Praise
So now let's go. Now let's get back. Now let's get into what's going on with Moshe and Pharaoh and our people. We're going to begin at in the book of Exodus, chapter 10, and I think everybody did a little reading, so we'll just start over here. Everybody had some verses to pull out, so let's go ahead and start back over here with you, brother Uriah, if you don't mind.
It's really
Praise God.
It's really spirit.
Oh, without a doubt.
Oh, man.
Without a doubt. So we just thought we're going to just
Triple wheeling.
we're triple wheeling. Hey, praise God.
So,
But that's what the people, somebody need to hear that.
Of course.
To know that they, with Psalms 83, they taking great counsel against us.
Yeah.
Isaiah 42, that Yahshua is doing this.
Yeah.
He's going to be magnified, right?
And nobody said restore.
Exactly.
So we have to take it up on ourselves. Yeah, we have put the spirit in our heart to do this.
Right. Right.
We don't mind.
praise him.
Yeah. We're in the book of Exodus, Exodus chapter 10, verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I may show these my sign before him. And thou shalt makest tell in the ears of thy son and of thy son's son what things I have wrought in Egypt, and my sign which I have done among them, that you may know how that I am Yahweh. And Moshe and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh and said unto him, Thus said Yahweh, Yahweh Elohim of the Hebrews, How long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me.
Well, right there, when we said, who is this Yahweh?
Mm-hmm.
That I have to listen to what he's talking about.
Right.
Well, don't you find it interesting every time Aaron and Moshe come in there, you tell them, Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrew.
Right. They got it now.
They keep bringing it to you. Every time they come in, they reinforce it.
Yep.
Now you know.
Right.
You're figuring out who this Yahweh is now, right?
Yep.
I'm Yahweh, the Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrew.
Correct.
So
he's not the Elohim of the whole earth.
Oh, yeah.
Of all the nations.
Yeah.
So he's
He
specifically.
said, no, these are my people.
That's right.
I'm their God, but you act like, since you didn't know who I am, now you, what the old saying? What that, I was going to rap something. Now you know me.
Yeah.
And now you know my name. Now you know me. Okay, you didn't know me before. Now you know me. You didn't know me.
Right.
Now you know who I am now.
That's right.
You'll never forget Yahweh now,
Yeah.
Mr. Pharaoh.
You know what most people fail to get is like Yahweh is the creation or the creator of all creation.
That's right.
But he is specifically the God of the Hebrew.
Right. Exactly.
We read that in Amos 3 yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You won't have I.
Of you only of the nation I've known.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I'm going to deal with you what? More severely.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
That's
knew
right.
better. You're supposed to know better.
Yep. Exodus, we're in the book of Exodus, chapter 10, verse 4. Else, if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow will I bring the locusts into thy coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth, and they shall eat the residue of which is escaped, which remaineth upon from the hill, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. Verse 6. And they shall fill thy houses, and the houses of all thy servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were upon the earth until this day. And he turned himself and went out from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's servants said unto him, How long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the men go, that they may serve Yahweh their Elohim. Knowest thou not yet that Egypt is destroyed?
Okay. This is deep.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're seeing here that I'm gonna bring some more on you, but Pharaoh has counselors.
Mm-hmm.
They're advising him.
That's right.
See, people got counsel, but when you got somebody that'll harden your heart, I'm gonna do the way I want to do it. Yahweh don't harden your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this God that's being played though is Set.
Oh no, come on, now I've heard of Seth.
Yes.
The old.
The Egyptian god of storms and disorder.
Okay.
So the locust being sent from the fly was a plague against their god of storms and disorder.
That's it.
Because it was a wind that brought him in. Yahweh brought him in with the east wind.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Say that again for me.
Yeah, I said he's the God. He's in Egyptian mythology. He's the God of storms and disorder.
Okay.
This is set, and so Yahweh sends in this plague of locusts from the sky, and he was unable to stop this. This is the God of storms. He should have been able to send a wind to divert them.
Away. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Did you have a picture of him?
Yes,
I
sir.
don't think you got him. You have one?
Yes, I do.
If you can, that'd be good. Because again, we're showing you their gods. See, we're not making this up. Yahweh said he's going to judge Egypt, the Pharaoh, Egypt, and their gods.
Absolutely.
And we're showing you. Those of you who have just tuned in, we've covered today 8 of the gods. The first god that in chronological order that was being judged, Hapi, their god called Hapi. Eket was the second one. Geb. The fourth one was Kephra. The fifth one we talked about was Hathor. The sixth one was Isis. The seventh one was Nut, a goddess. And now you said Seth.
We have a picture of
And that's Seth right up there. Praise God for you, brother. And these are the things that we're trying to convey. To understand what Yahweh's doing. See, there's some gods in this land. Baal is still in effect.
Yeah.
The Lord.
Up to this day.
He's still in effect, but you're going to call him Lord one day. Because you better find out who Yahweh is.
That's right.
And who's the Mashiach is, Yahshua.
You know what, Ellen, when you're looking at it, we cannot avoid their God totally. Because what they have done, they name even the days of the week, after their God. So what can we do?
Right. All thing you can do is not bow yourself to them.
That's right.
When Yahweh bring you out of that blindness, because we know an idol is nothing. See, we get too caught up over nothing. But while you wait, I'm not worshiping the shoe.
You see, yeah, some people could be simple-minded like that.
And you get so, well, listen, man, we know it's nothing, but that's what Paul says.
Yeah.
But if it's going to trip you up, I might take it easy with you, because obviously you're not strong enough in the word.
Yeah.
But they're not strong enough in the word to hear foolish talk neither.
Yeah.
Foolish behavior trips people up too. Right?
That's right.
You got a Starbucks cup. Oh, it's freaking out. What the hell's a cup of coffee?
But during their festive season, especially the end of the year, all their shopping bags are very colorful. What are you gonna do?
Leave those folks
Don't
alone.
shop.
Don't shop.
You're not gonna. What are you gonna eat? Right.
If you don't want to shop, don't shop.
Right.
But
Come
now,
on, man.
Yahweh, the commandments are very clear. Thou shalt not bow down, that thou shalt have no other God before me. Now so you got to ask yourself, are you serving the God that they talk? Because you're not worshiping the thing. And you know you're Israel, you're a Jew, you're a Messianic Jew. So you know that's nothing for you.
Yeah.
No big deal. So what? Now what's the big deal is where you go to worship.
That's right. That's right.
Who is your idol in your heart?
That's right.
Is it you? Is your money? Is your house?
Okay, material things.
Material things?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things. But thank you. Keep that up there. You'll keep that up for me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's Seth behind me. The God of the wind. So these locusts came in with the wind, right?
Yeah.
Continue, brother.
Verse 8. And Moshe and Aaron were brought again unto Pharaoh, and he said unto them, Go, serve Yahweh your Elohim, but who are they that shall go? And Moshe said, We will go with our young and with our old, with our sons and with our daughters, with our flocks and with our herds will we go, for we must hold a feast unto Yahweh. And he said unto them, Let Yahweh be so with you, as I will let you go, and your little ones. Look to it, for evil is before you. Not so, for now you that are men and serve Yahweh, for that you did desire. And they were driven out from Pharaoh's presence.
Right. Come out here.
Verse 12. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Stretch out thine hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come out upon the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail had left. And Moshe stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and Yahweh brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt and rested in all the coasts of Egypt. Very grievous were they. Before them there were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such.
So Seth couldn't stop it.
Mm-mm.
He couldn't stop the winds.
He was worshipped in Egypt as for his ability or power to create chaos and violent force.
Okay.
He was unable to restrain this.
He couldn't restrain this.
Nope.
And this said the wind blew all the east wind. It said that it brought up the east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. Okay. All right. Their God has failed.
So they're magician and
They're out of it.
they're out of it.
They've been out of it since the third miracle. The third miracle. They couldn't do it. I thought they were gone.
No, I'm looking at the latter part of verse 7 where it said, "Knowest thou that yet that Egypt is destroyed?"
Oh yeah.
Come on,
These
man.
are the magicians though.
Yeah.
Those are just his advisors.
Advisor, yeah.
And they tell me, man, like I said earlier, you got advisors. When you're in positions, you got to have people around you to counsel you, to have wisdom.
That's right.
To tell you, hey, you out of control.
Yeah.
You need to, hey, won't you get this man out of here? Did you see the whole land?
Yeah.
But see, if you got somebody who got complete authority, well, buddy, your situation, you and your butt in his hands.
That's
a
right.
wrap. See, Pharaoh's God.
Yeah.
And what did someone say? Well, I'm not going to say that. Yeah, you mentioned it, but go ahead.
Verse 15.
I know it, yeah, I'm going to stop.
Verse 15. For they covered the face of the whole herd, so that the land was darkened, and they did eat every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left, and there remained not any green thing in the trees or in the herbs of the field, through all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moshe and Aaron in haste, and he said, I have sinned against Yahweh, your Elohim, and against you. Now therefore forgive, I pray thee, my sin only this once, and entreat Yahweh your Elohim, that he may take away from me this debt only. And he went out from Pharaoh and entreated Yahweh. And Yahweh turned a mighty strong west wind, which took away the locusts, and cast them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the coast of Egypt.
And you see the power of Yahweh. That was his locusts. He just put them in. He created, like you said, brother, you're right. He's the creator of heaven and earth, everything. So those locusts he created for that purpose. He let them there. So now, okay, I'm going to push them in. I'm going to let them throw in the Red Sea and die.
See, what is man?
What is man?
Yahweh sending the locusts and kill off your whole harvest for the year.
Right.
Now you have no food.
No food.
Famine.
But then I just send them, and then I send them away when I want to.
Right.
And they went right to the Red Sea and died.
That's right.
Ain't that something?
That's right.
Food for the other fishes in the water.
That's right.
Ain't that something? They had a feast. They probably had a feast over that.
That's right.
When they got in the water. See, everything. Exactly. They had a feast off them locusts. Good eat, boy.
I'll tell you that. Verse 20. But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Stretch out thine hands toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. And Moshe stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwelling.
Now, can you imagine? None of us can imagine that. See, we act like we can say, "Oh yeah," you don't. Stop acting like you would go crazy. You over there in light, sunlight in your town, and you look across the way, and it's pitch black.
It's pitch black. Now this was a punishment that was against one God.
Another God?
This is the chief God.
Okay.
This is one of the chief gods. This is Ra.
Okay, well, I heard of Ra. The sun God.
So the darkness that's being put upon this plague Ra, because he's supposed to be this sun deity to be able to bring forth the light which brings food for the harvest, revered as the chief Egyptian deity.
Wow.
We got a picture of him.
That's deep.
This is him. He's depicted with a sun on the top of his head.
Right. Exactly. You see those this on the Catholic Church and popes.
And these are the reliefs in Egypt to this day.
Exactly. That's their guys.
Yes,
See that? Praise God. I'm
Praise
looking over
God.
and look back.
Yeah,
Look
praise,
at it.
praise Yahweh for those information, man, that He has given the Spirit.
He always walked with the arm.
With the arm.
Okay.
To carry the arm.
Right.
Okay.
It's a symbol of life.
Exactly.
Man and the woman. It's still tied to this to idol worship.
Right. Worshiping gods
That's right.
that are no longer even in effect. That's Israel showing you the curses. You're going to worship gods. I'm going to put you away. Your fathers came out of that. We're here reading about how Yahweh brought us out of Egypt from their gods and from them. And you're in the second Egypt captivity, walking around with an arm.
Go back into
Yeah, going back to Egypt.
Man.
And what is it? A darkness, which they say the darkness over the land, even the darkness which may be felt.
right.
Can you see? Get your mind wrapped around it.
Right.
You can feel it. It's like something you can move.
Right.
What is that?
No light.
There's
That's
no
like
light.
underwater.
That's
The
like
deeper you go underwater, there's no light.
there's no light.
And they'll send machines on submarines under there with light, and it only magnifies just the area.
That's
in front
certain.
of
It can't go no further. It's so
Yeah.
darkness. Come on
That's
now.
darkness they can feel.
See.
Yeah.
So now Ra has been judged, and he can't overcome the darkness that Yahweh put on.
He was the most worshipped god in Egypt other than Pharaoh himself.
Okay.
Wow.
Now let's get on and continue. Okay, my brother. Where did you stop at?
We at verse 24.
Okay.
And Pharaoh
Well,
called.
it's daylight in Goshen, right?
That's right.
Yeah. That's a miracle.
Because Yahweh already said earlier, he's already separated. He's going to separate the Hebrews
From
the Egyptians.
Yeah.
So everything that's going on now, the Israelites are not dealing with that.
So like you said,
The locusts, any of that.
Yahweh showed that he had control over the sun as a witness that the Elohim of Israel had ultimate power over life and death. See, because they needed the sun for their harvest to grow. So no light on their crops, you know. So like you said, now it was written is the psychological and religious impact would have a profound influence on the Egyptians at this point. Because darkness was a representation of death, judgment, and hopelessness. So this is darkness that they could be felt. Yeah. He punished their God.
Feel it.
Yeah.
Feel it. Punish it. No way out.
We're in the book of Exodus chapter 10, verse 24. And Pharaoh called unto Moshe and said, Go you, serve Yahweh, only let your flocks and your herd be stayed. Let your little ones also go with you. And Moshe said, Thou must give us also sacrifices and burnt offering, that we may sacrifice unto Yahweh our Elohim. Our cattle also shall go with us, there shall not an hoof be left behind. For thereof must we take to serve Yahweh our Elohim. And we know not with what we must serve Yahweh until we come thither. But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. Verse 28. And Pharaoh said unto him, Get thee from me, take heed to thyself, see my face no more.
Okay.
For in that day thou seest my face, thou shalt die.
Okay.
And Moshe said, Thou hast spoken well. I will see thy face again no more.
You spoke it, buddy. You're not going to see my face. So that's the question people ask. This is a great story, but why did Pharaoh just kill him from the beginning?
Come on, man.
Well, do you know who? Yahweh already controlled the man's heart. He can't come up with no. He cannot put in his mind to hurt him. Come on.
That's right.
Man, that shows the power of Yahweh.
And so this book
Over
made up.
inspiration.
This book made up. This book, 4,000 plus years old, right? That was written.
That's right.
And you're talking crazy now. Ain't no book like this in the world. Now, if you want to get in a time machine, create you a time machine. I'm gonna be facetious. Go on back in time so you can see what they were speaking, doing, and this. And come on back and get what we're gonna do. And we're gonna call you a liar when you get back, because there's no way you traveling back and forth in time. You follow me? So don't. Oh, that's okay. We got a little blip there, but
Absolutely. I think the American people are going to see a sign or two of life. Maybe they haven't seen it in some time.
we got a little technical thing. That's fine. That's okay. That's okay. So I love how, no problem, brother. I love how that brother spoke it out. You ain't gonna, Moshe said, you're not going to see me. You're not gonna, you spoke well. I will see thy face again no more. So chapter 11, brother, Obadiah, she's yours. Yahweh willing, we can begin to pursue what's happened. This is a great, now you want to know why everybody want to steal your history and be you. You follow me?
Yeah.
Why everybody want to be you. But they can't go through what you've been through. They can't go through it.
No.
They can sit back and we're the chosen people because we got money, we white, we doing this and we had a little trouble here, but we all right. Well, look at the 250 years of slave camps in America. Are you going to sit here that our people ain't got enough understanding to speak on it? You maintain straight up concentration camps, straight up slave camps for a people for 250 years where you controlled life and death. You worked them to death so America could be rich and Europe could be rich. And anybody that was in Europe benefited from it.
Of course.
How are you going to say we friends? If you benefited from the tillage of our people, don't come to me talking about we the same, we this and that. No, we're not. You got rich off of it, off the blood.
That's blood money.
Blood money. You got rich off of it. Blood money.
Show no mercy.
No mercy. And then you went down to Haiti, Jamaica, all these islands. Work folks, it was a death sentence. There's nobody basically Yahweh, anybody alive. And then let's look at history. When Haiti fought and got its freedom from France,
Yes.
right? You know, they try to recognize them. But guess what Haiti, what the French did? What kind of wicked is this? They demanded reparations from Haiti. And Haiti had to pay them over and above for the money they supposedly lost from their colonial holdings.
Still suffering.
And that's why the people broke today.
Yeah.
You did this. But see, don't worry about it. When Yahweh brings his hand on you, we don't want to see no crime. Be men. Y'all say call on Jesus. Call on Jesus. Because Yahweh going to judge that God too.
Of course.
Because we're going to find out, is that God the true and living God? Is he a God? Is that his name? Is that his name? Is he a Greek? Or was he a Hebrew? So how he get a Hebrew, how he got a Greek name? A Latinized name. A Greek, Iesus, in the King James 1611. Iesus.
That's right.
Then, after they changed the lettering, it became Jesus.
That's right.
Or Jesus. But what about, did he have a Hebrew name? I thought he was born of the seed out of Judah. I thought he was out of David.
King of the Jews.
King of the Jews.
In 3 languages.
But yet he doesn't know nobody. Then even our people get angry when we got to correct them.
Man, it's like a fight.
Now I'm gonna hold on to this. Hold on to
Hold on
it.
to
Keep
it.
on holding.
Hold on to
Keep on holding.
Hold on to your God.
Come on. He ain't come to you with 250 years of slavery. He ain't come and got you out of slave one person from a tree. He ain't saved one person from a police shooting. But yet you holding on. Hold on. Because now you got a job. Only way you got these jobs and opportunities and things like that is through Yahweh and through other men of your community and women fighting.
Correct.
They've been fighting since emancipation.
That's right.
So you can have something. And you're going to give it over to a pagan God. You don't want to mention nobody's name. Don't want to mention Sojourner Truth name. Don't want to mention, what's the other sister's name? Harriet Tubman.
Oh, yeah.
Those are strong women.
Foundation. That's right.
See, we got a whole lot of
They set the tone, man.
Right.
And there's so many others that
There's so many. They don't want to mention their names.
That's right.
So, you know, when you look at these people, you're standing on the back of your people. And now you right here walking naked on television. When they strip you down naked in the slave markets, your brothers and mothers, they didn't like that. But you stripped down voluntarily every day on TV to give you $1. What kind of people is this? We got to wake up.
That's right.
We got to what? Repent Repent. Stop doing that's evil before Yahweh. And get your baptism in the name of Yahshua Mashiach. Clean yourself up. Stop doing that. This is not religion. This is supposed to save your life.
That's right.
Repent. America can't save you. You think America can't save you? Christianity can't save you.
No.
You know, look at like what we were just talking about. Jeremiah the prophet says in chapter 22, he says, "Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that uses his neighbor's service without wages, and giveth him not for his work."
Okay.
And woe means destruction.
Exactly.
Destruction is unto you.
It's on its way.
It's on its way.
It's on its way.
It's coming. And we are here talking about you can't save the monetary system. Who told you you're going to save something? You barely, look, most black people around here, paycheck to paycheck. So if they fall tomorrow, what do they got to do with you? Yahweh's doing the judging. Just like he's judging right here, isn't he?
We read in the book of Genesis that money failed in Egypt.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They understood the bartering and trade. At the end of the time, right? So it's whatever. But
It's gonna feel like
what you gonna do? You're not even in your own way. You're gonna get treated last no matter what. Oh yeah. You think they're gonna give you first service? Oh, you see, you forget that. You're thinking if this thing fails, some kind of way, you're gonna be brought up to the front of the line with the rest of the nations.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
We saw an example of that in Ukraine.
No, that is
Places on the war. And folks say, well, how dare they let their own people get out first?
how dare
That's me. Well, if I was there, my family's getting out.
they? I'm getting out first.
I don't understand.
Right.
What are they thinking?
Right. Oh, it's racist. No, you keep running.
That's an extent to it.
That's an extent to it.
That's not the
That's the underlying thing. Hey, they trying to get their people out.
Yeah.
When things jumped off here in New Orleans, what they do to you? They call you a refugee,
That's
and
right.
you've been here 400 years.
That's right.
Wow. Look at that.
They forgot what New Orleans was,
That's right.
right? So y'all down in the Superdome, down there going berserk. So they say, raping, killing.
Yeah.
But see, when you don't have no law,
That's it.
you think if something
That's
go
it.
down in our community,
That's it.
you allow the lawless people to do what they want to do. You can't even call the police because they telling you snitching. Wait a minute, I'm snitching, but you just shot my grandson, and nobody ain't gonna tell the police that I will call the police. That's ridiculous. That's a beautiful. That's not wickedness at the highest level.
Yeah.
But that's wickedness.
It's well, people will say you're biting the hand that feeds you. Well, is it? Are they feeding you?
Right.
What are they doing for you?
Right.
And that's it.
See how people have learned. They've learned the ways of the heathen
Exactly.
to the maximum. And that's the question. You've learned, as a matter of fact, you've learned their ways. You've taught the wicked what is their ways. You don't took the wickedness that you learned from them and you don't magnify it to the point where you use it against your own people.
That's right.
So now it's a shaking of their heads. That's the curses. Now you're shaking of their head. Who does this?
Oh man.
People just look at you and shake their head.
Right.
That's what Yahweh said He's going to do, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's part of the curses.
Nobody but our people.
You know it. You know it. So where are we now, brother?
Exodus chapter 11.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Yet will I bring one more plague upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moshe was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. And Moses said, Thus saith Yahweh, About midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue.
Okay.
Against man or beast, that you may know how Yahweh does put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Right. We look racially the same. Look like people. Right?
That's right. That's right. Verse 8. And all these thy servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get thee out, and all the people that follow thee, and after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in a great anger.
Okay.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt.
Praise Yah.
And Moshe and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land.
Now, brother, is there another God being judged now?
So the final God is Egypt, of Egypt rather, being judged as Pharaoh.
It's Pharaoh.
Pharaoh was worshipped as a god. He was seen to be the son of Ra, who was the chief god that they worshipped. So Pharaoh being the last god, this is who Yahweh reigned judgment upon. He was revered among all people. That's why I say, who is this God? I don't know Yahweh. But Moshe came unto him.
Okay. Praise Yah. And we'll keep reading, brother. I want you to read to like 15, and then that's the next chapter is very long. I want to give you some more. Just keep on down to read chapter 12, and let's go to, take it to about 20.
Okay. Exodus chapter 12, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Okay, now, those of us, if you've been keeping up with us since the holy days began, since the new year, isn't it, we look at this as, this is not a coincidence, that Yahweh, we're in the midst of our holy days, right?
That's right. That's right. And to show you how significant, even with this Passover, Yahweh has a second Passover, just to make sure that his people who are unable to observe the first will be able to show you the significance. This was the beginning of all our holy days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah for that, man.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. Verse 3. Speak you unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the tenth day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two posts, on the two side posts, and on the upper door posts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs shall they eat it. Eat none of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the purtenance thereof. And you shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning, you shall burn with fire. And thus shall you eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you shall eat it in haste. It is Yahweh's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahweh.
Read that again, what you just covered.
Yes, sir. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahweh.
Yes, sir. He's been doing that, right?
Punish all of them.
You know, I'm looking in on verse 10, where, you know, it's the only feast days where the leftover of your feast or your meal, you have to throw it away.
That's right.
Very significant.
Very, very significant. Because Yahweh just chose one.
That's right.
Not two. You know, if you understand, the Mashiach was the only Passover. Okay? And afterward, he put him away. Then he has risen afterward.
That's right.
So, you know, we know there is the last Passover which he kept with his apostles, disciples. He said, eat, drink, this is the testament. I mean, the seed of the testament. I'm paraphrasing here.
Correct.
You understand? So there's nothing more. With this blood sealed everything too.
Okay, praise Yah.
Yeah.
Praise Yah. Deep. Verse 13. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's sealing them, covering them.
he's covering
Covering, that's it.
He's
Praise Yah.
covering that blood. So like we were talking about the Mashiach magnifying the law.
Right.
So if we're not under his blood is for protection.
Right.
Yeah,
That's that Passover.
That is our Passover.
Praise Yah.
Not another. It's
Yeah,
only
brother.
him and him only.
Exactly. If you're not, like, well, I didn't cut you off, Obi, but
No.
yeah, that's hidden.
Praise Yah. Praise Yah. Verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to Yahweh throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever.
Forever?
Forever.
Forever,
Forever.
Oh man.
Okay, I just want to
Yes,
make
sir.
sure, because people not keeping the Sabbath, Passover, but you know, our people think they're Christians and they're going to worship the goddess Ashtaroth
Well,
on
they keep
Easter Sunday.
see our people keep what they call they communion.
They
So
do that every so
they
often.
do it every. He said, so they took that. He said, do this in remembrance.
They do that
of me.
every so
They
many-
do it every month.
Something like that, yeah.
You know, but that's not what he said. He says in his commanded feast, in its season. So they missed that part there too.
All the way.
You know what, man? You know, give this book, or I always call it a manual. This manual to another nation. Come
They'll
on.
be on top of it.
Oh man, they would be walking on top of it. You're right.
Verse 15. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread. We just came through this.
Mm-hmm.
Even the first day you shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first day there shall be a holy convocation. And in the 7th day there shall be a holy convocation to you.
We did that. Praise Yah.
Praise Yahweh.
Praise Him.
No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat. That only may be done of you. And you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. For in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, you shall eat unleavened bread, until the 20th day of the month at even. 7 days there shall be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land.
Okay. And we're going to let Uriah pick up here. But I do want to know, up until we got to verse 19, is Yahweh, even before they leave, he's laying out everything.
Correct.
These are these holy days. These are the feast days you're going to be keeping to me. Because when I get you out of here, you're going to start the first one now. Right? So you get ready to start that first feast day now, Passover.
That's right. Before they even left Egypt.
Before they even left you, they already gave them their instructions.
That's right.
This is how you got to prepare yourself.
That's right.
And do the things that you need to do. But I tell you what, Obi, just read 20 and then pick up the 21. I think that makes better sense. Just read that.
Yes, sir. Verse 20. You shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitation shall you eat unleavened bread.
Okay,
Praise
Uriah. Uriah, you would begin, please.
Verse 21. Then Moshe called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, Draw out and take you a lamb according to your families and kill the Passover. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin, and none of you shall go out of the door of his house until the morning. For Yahweh will pass through to smite the Egyptian, and when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the two side posts Yahweh will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. And you shall observe these things for an ordinance to you, or to thee, and to thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when you be come to the land which Yahweh will give you.
So it's prophetic. He's speaking out now. He's talking about when you get to the land. They're still there in captivity right now. And he's speaking to them.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to do now when you get in your land.
Yep. Let's read back over, start back over 25. And it shall come to pass, when you be come to the land which Yahweh will give you, according to as he had promised, that you shall keep the Sabbath. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, what mean you by this Sabbath? That you shall say, it is the sacrifice of Yahweh's Passover,
Okay.
who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptian and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. And the children of Israel went away and did as Yahweh has commanded Moshe and Aaron, so did they.
Now you know something, Israel, they seen all these miracles. They seen where Yahweh had just ravished Egypt. They seen that darkness. They seen they seen a whole lot. Let's keep that in mind.
That's right.
That they never know, if it never happened in Egypt before, surely the children of Israel ain't never seen it before neither. So this is something new to everybody.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Verse 29. And it came to pass that at midnight Yahweh smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead.
Can you imagine that in a civilization or a town or country where you know how much people, I don't know the population at that time, but I'm just thinking in general, what would happen in America? You got 200 plus 100 million people, and the firstborn of every person they got died. That's a lot of death, right? That'd be a lot of death.
That's right. See.
If that happened today, you know, and even for that time, yeah, for perspective, the perspective of it,
Yes, sir.
is that all of Egypt, not a town of Egypt, all the land of Egypt,
Even the cattle,
everything falling out, everything died,
Amen.
being killed, smoked.
Verse 31. And he called for Moshe and Aaron by night, and said, rise up, and get you forth from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go, serve Yahweh as you have said. Also take your flocks and your herds as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also.
Bless me also. Get this thing off my back. I can't take this no more. You don't kill my boy, my oldest. And if you kill the oldest, the firstborn, if it was a son, then that would be the heir to Pharaoh's throne.
Yeah.
How could he not protect us being a God?
Okay, there we go. That's the judgment on Pharaoh,
You're
the
a
10th.
man. That's what he's showing. You're just a man.
Yeah.
But his purpose had already given. You're just flesh. But the people revere him as a God. You know.
Exactly.
So
He is powerless.
Yeah.
Just a man.
Right. So all the cattle died firstborn. The peasants, their firstborn died. You're Pharaoh. You're supposed to be the God.
Right.
Your firstborn
And you
died.
can't do
You
nothing.
don't even have an heir now.
No, exactly. You gotta do something else.
Yeah.
See, so this is, I'm glad this is the first time we've went over this book in such a fashion.
For the details, you
The
know.
details that we've gone over. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah for this, man.
This is important,
Yeah.
so that you can see Yahweh is not these idols that you are worshiping in His presence. You know, it's just a time. Yahweh got a time appointed for all of the earth. You know, He turned a blind eye to it.
That's
It
right.
says, all right, but now
Not anymore.
He's going to bring it. But you understand, when He brings His wrath upon the earth, it's not just to get Israel out, That's part of it. To get us out. But he's bringing that judgment for all the wickedness that's been done in the earth.
Correct.
That's right.
Correct.
Right?
See, that's what people don't. Mankind doesn't see Yahweh is very patient. He does things in his own time.
Yeah.
He told Moshe, we're going to read about this when we go further on, as some of the children started being rebellious.
Right.
And Yahweh said, look, I'm about to shut it down. You know, I'm going to kill all of them off and make a nation out of you, Moshe. But he told him to say, Moshe would plead and he would intercede on behalf of the people. And Yahweh said, okay, I've hearkened unto your prayer. I'm not going to shut it down yet. But surely, not one of them men that transgressed against my Lord is not going to go into my land. I'm not going to the promised land. They're not going.
They're not going. That carcass is going to fall right out here.
Kept them out there 40 years.
40 years. He took us out here, and now our children, we're going to all die. He said, no, you ain't going to. You said you were afraid for them. They're going to make it out. You're going to die.
Right.
And replace their numbers.
Yeah.
When we get to that.
But you know what? What's so amazing is there were, I think, maybe just about 11 days in the journey to make it in the promised land.
Right.
Yahweh is great. 40 years. That's deep.
You can't do nothing.
That's
where it's at. Get the tabernacle. Go do this. Let's get up.
Right.
Let's move some more. Not good. So everybody die out.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody died out.
Yeah.
They all dead. Yeah, the last one dead. Now let's talk business.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we can talk some business.
Yeah. Verse 33. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, we be all dead men. And the people took their dough before it was leavened.
See that?
Their kneading troughs been bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moshe, and they borrowed of the Egyptian jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such thing as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. Verse 37. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, that were men beside children.
So 600,000 men came out of Egypt, right? That's not counting the women. So you know you got more women than men, right? So it's well over 1 million people.
Yeah. Verse 38. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victual.
Okay, so in verse 38 again, and a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. So the other people said, we might well we gonna go with this, we get out here too. Yeah. So sometimes you gotta see, pick up on the thing. Hey man, let's go. I'm going too.
They got a reference.
I ain't staying here. What's the reference?
It says this mixed multitude standing for unconverted church members, is how they put it.
Come on.
Was a source of weakness and division. Then, as of now, there had been a manifestation of divine power, and men were drawn to it without a change of heart.
See, that's just the Gentile.
That's mankind thinking.
Well, we're gonna continue with that. I won't forget. I know where you're going.
No, I'm not gonna go there.
But like you said, there are other people.
Yeah.
And then when we get there in Numbers, you're gonna see later on about what the people will tell you. Oh, there were other people a part of Israel too, right? That amalgamated themselves with them, right? But is that so, Elder? You right? Elder, you right?
Other people?
Yeah, there's a big multitude. Did they mix themselves up with Israel?
No, they separate themselves. They keep in a separate. What you call it? Like a bond.
Well, go ahead and let's go there. I know you want to go there. You want to go there?
No, I wasn't going there.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going there. Now go ahead, get my bag. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Let me pop myself. Go ahead. I'm sorry, brother. Let's continue to read.
No, I was going to go to get some more information, that I've written, but, I'll let you slide for a second. Verse 40. Time is up on us. Verse 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years.
Can you tell me anybody look up, let me see, can I look up the definition of sojourn? All right, let's go ahead so people can understand that there is a definitional meaning. Go ahead, bro.
Well, I think pretty much, you can look it up, but you can correct me if I'm wrong here. But the time they started counting from the time before they even reached Egypt.
Definition of sojourn.
When they set forth their journey to Egypt and out of Egypt, because before they reached Egypt, they spent a little time in I think Canaan also. So all those years that they spent in Canaan, it's a part of the sojourn.
It is and I wanted we're going to give them a simple
definition.
So they can understand when we're talking about the captivity. Let me see, I got a different definition.
But it still remained the fact that they sojourned in Egypt for 430 years.
Right. The word sojourn is defined as a temporary stay, a verb, stay somewhere temporarily. So, and then they have here, what is sojourn in the Bible? The Hebrew term in this translation conveyed a basic idea that a person is residing either temporarily or permanently in a community and place that is not primarily their own and is dependent on the goodwill of that community for their continued existence. So they were never supposed to remain. Now their sojourn, that they temporarily stayed there 430 years, but it had already been written that Yahweh's going to, Jacob had already told them, it already been written that they're going to come out of there.
Take my bones out of there.
Right. Abraham, talked about it, that Joseph said, get me up out of here.
That's right.
So this sojourning is speaking to it a very clear. They were not enslaved or captives in Egypt 430 years.
That is correct.
They sojourned there 430 years.
Correct.
They were their afflictions was between 80 and 120 years. Right?
Not more than 120 years.
Because Moshe was born during that period, that latter part, when they decided to go ahead and kill the firstborn, the males.
All the males,
Right? So that's when Moshe was born, and he got up to 40, came back when he was 80, he died at 120? Moses died. So you're looking at 80 to 120, not 430 years of constant enslavement, right? The only 400 constant Abraham's prophecy with us, the 400 years that he saw in Genesis 15:13 was for they shall be afflicted there 400 years. That only is here in America. The daughter of Babylon, this Egypt.
That's right.
We got here in America in 1619, right? This is the daughter of America, the daughter of Babylon, where Judah, it says, dwells in the midst of.
That's right.
Right? We just did 400 years. Notwithstanding the enslavement through the Caribbean and South America, including Mexico, which is in that Caribbean. Our people were enslaved all over. Right? So, but Yahweh starts the counting according to him. He started the counting here. He counted when they hit foot here in the old mainland. Right? This is Babylon for our purposes. It is Babylon. It's Egypt as well.
Yeah.
And it's become Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's right. City of confusion.
It's become all those things. Right? So what can you do with this place? And it's great. I mean, we doing well. People doing okay here. But look at the confusion though.
Yeah, going on. Well, Elder, I look on other slavery that has been taking place, over the world, before
we even get over here,
Right.
especially in the Dark Ages, where we not spend only 400, but we spend like 1,400 in slavery. So Yahweh wasn't talking about that slavery, that duration. Yeah. Where we at now? 41?
Right.
Okay. We're in the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 41. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the self-same day, it came to pass that all the hosts of Yahweh went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed unto Yahweh for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. This is that night of Yahweh to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generation.
So when you see this, and when you look at other people in the world that are keeping the Passover, they have to sit, and they understand that they have no, their fathers were not in that place. But you couldn't handle the afflictions in America, Europe. It take a strong people that with Yahweh with them to undergo this kind of stuff. You ain't built like that. Don't tell us that you're not built to be in Africa at that time. Africa is not the Middle East.
And
It's Africa. Huh?
And would not be able to survive on it.
No.
Just due to
No. They're playing on our intelligence.
yes.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Yeah.
I was watching the show. I'm sorry to cut you
Go
off.
ahead.
All about it was doing one of those documentaries that they do, and about the black pharaohs of Egypt. Like there's some white pharaohs in Egypt. So come on, man. Come on. The Most High has put your people prophetically in the book to control these certain empires.
Yeah.
That's it. You're not those people. Your people were never indigenous to Egypt. Commit.
That's right.
Being conquered by nature.
Yeah, they want to conquer that too. We take credit for everything.
Oh, why not?
Gee, why not? Who can stop us?
Right.
We write the books. Who's gonna believe those white people that call themselves Hebrew or Egyptologists that are black? Nobody will hear that because the world is ready to accept that.
That's right.
Because look who's running everything. Who got all the power? Who got all the things that have been done? That's okay, but they don't understand. Yahweh is out there for His glory to bring it all to naught.
That's right.
Keep on, brother.
We're in the book of Exodus chapter 12, verse 43. And Yahweh said unto Moshe and Aaron, This is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. But every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth out of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall you break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to Yahweh, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. Thus did all the children of Israel, as Yahweh commanded Moshe and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the selfsame day that Yahweh did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. That's it. Chapter 12.
What time we have, brother?
We're right at 1:40.
Okay, good. Okay, we can keep. Hold on 1 second. I'm looking at something here. Let's look at that. Go ahead, man.
No, go ahead.
I was looking at that before you go. I didn't even interrupt you, but verse 49. I was looking at Yahweh said, "Are your ways unjust? Are not my ways just? Your ways are unjust." Because he says, "One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourns among them."
Right.
We see here in the daughter of Babylon, we don't see that.
No.
It's two different laws.
Two different laws.
Two different
They
laws.
will apply those laws
Yeah.
that way, and all you can do is see the injustice of it all.
Yeah.
You know, we have to bide our time here. Yahweh is our habitation of justice. That's what he said. They have forsaken their habitation of justice.
That's right.
Yahweh is the habitation of justice. Yes, sir.
Where did we, I was going to see here, when they talk about the lamb not breaking, prophetically, not that you don't believe break a leg of that Passover, it should be that lamb. And that's symbolic of the Mashiach. And unblemished, and it talks about that in Psalms 34. Let's go there.
Okay.
I'll just read it. Psalms 34. And it covers a lot of things. But let's see, verse 15, Psalms 34, verse 15. It says, the eyes of Yahweh are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. The face of Yahweh is against them that do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. The righteous cry, and Yahweh hears it, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. Yahweh is nigh or close unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Yahweh delivers him out of them all. So you go through things. I did a class on this very title. But verse 20, he keepeth all his bones, not one of them is broken. Well, that's also, he says, verse 20, evil shall slay the wicked, and they that hate the righteous shall be desolate. Yahweh redeemeth the soul of his servants, and none of them that trust in him shall be desolate. So you have a situation here where it's about the past, but Yahshua is our Passover.
That's right.
It says not one of the bones shall be broken. But when you go to, I think it's in John.
Yeah.
Let me see. In John 19 and verses 31. Read from there, Uriah.
Okay.
No, okay, go ahead. Read. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're in the book of John, St. John, chapter 19, verse 31. And the Jews, therefore, because it was a preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Shabbat day, for that Shabbat day was an high day, besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away.
By breaking the legs, he wouldn't be able to hold himself. When you're on that torture state, the way he had him in this position, not like this, he's like this, and you're holding your legs, you're able to hold up yourself to keep breathing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a bad situation to be in.
That's right.
So by breaking the legs, that would support would go, and you basically die. And I think it crush your arteries, your lungs, you suffocate yourself.
That's right.
But so that's what it said. Let's go ahead and break the legs. They knew how to go ahead and get you on out of here, dispatch you quickly. Right. So let's go. Continue that, brother.
Verse 32. Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first and of the other which was crucified with him. But when they came to Yeshua and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his leg.
Right.
But one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, and forthwith came out blood and water. And he that saw it bear record, and his record is true. And he knoweth that he said true, that you might believe. For these things were done that the scripture should be fulfilled. A bone of him shall not be broken. And again another scripture saith, they shall look on him whom they pierced.
And that's in Zechariah. It's in your Bible to have the proper annotations. You can read that in Zechariah chapter 12. So just as the Passover that we just read, the lamb, and Yahshua is the lamb. Understand the metaphor was going to the Lamb of God,
That's right.
the Lamb of Elohim,
And he was unblemished.
this unblemished Lamb,
Unblemished.
unblemished. No sin was found in the Mashiach. So with that, you know, that we got a little time. What we are? Go to chapter 11 now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
13.
Yeah, Exodus
Actually,
13. I apologize. Yeah, I'm taking us back a little bit. We're back in time. So we're still in.
Story so great.
So we're
you
still
wanna
in
go
13.
back, huh?
Where are we now?
Yeah,
We're in chapter 13.
Chapter 13.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And let's go ahead and start that, my brother. And we about how much time we?
About 14.
Okay, good. Praise y'all for that.
Praise God.
But so you seeing that the scriptures are true.
Mm.
Nothing on his unblemished, and not a bone of his body was broken.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
he-
Egypt is a nation till this day.
To this very day, Egypt still. So we're looking at these things when we go back into the Gospels and the letters, you know, to kind of magnify, amplify what we're talking about here in the book of Exodus, so you can get an understanding that this is, as Brother Uriah said, this is one narrative. This is one book. There's not two testaments.
No.
This is not. No, this is just one narrative of the children of Israel. Right? There are two covenants, but they're all made with Israel.
Of course.
But the gospel writings and epistles are not the Testament. They're not the New Testament.
That's right.
This is just their bad record.
You know, sometimes I call it the report.
Exactly. Well, exactly. we got a report. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
report.
It's a report, you know, of the things that.
Right.
Who has believed our report?
Yeah.
It goes back to all the prophets. It's still a report.
Yeah.
But these things happen. But now, if you don't believe what Matthew or Mattaniah, his name, you don't believe those brothers, and Saul and Yohanan, the Revelator, you're in bad shape.
All
But you gotta know but that's why you're here in the beginning now, so you can understand who this Mashiach is. So
Who is
let's,
that prophet?
yeah, who is that prophet?
Exodus chapter 13, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast. It is mine.
Okay.
And Moshe said unto the people, Remember this day in which you came out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand Yahweh brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came you out in the month of Abib. And we know that Abib
Right.
equates to what they call March or April.
Right, in the spring. Now, but go back to that first verse 2 again. Read verse 2 again.
Verse 2. Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast. It is mine.
So let's keep this in mind. This is when you look at the Yahweh setting apart, which belongs to him. And then there's going to have to be, you know, to redeem those children back. There's a certain thing. He's going to do a certain thing. But keep note of this. We're going to explore it later on, y'all will.
He sanctified the firstborn.
He sanctified, right.
Because none of them died.
Exactly.
They killed off, even the cattle died.
Right.
In Egypt.
Yeah.
Pharaoh, all the Egyptians lost
Exactly.
someone in their home.
Exactly. But Israel did not.
But Israel.
But these are his people. These are his. Those firstborn will be on him.
That's right.
And there's a way of going about it. He's going to say, okay, but you're going to redeem. You're going to be able to redeem them back because there's no human sacrifice
Correct.
in Egypt among Israel.
That's right.
So there's a way. It's, you know, but these are, you know, the Elohim of the Hebrews. He's doing his thing.
It's similar to how the Mashiach spoke. It's parable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Verse 3. And Moshe said unto the people, Remember this day in which you came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand Yahweh brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came you out in the month Abib. And it shall be, when Yahweh shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Hittites,
Right.
and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast to Yahweh. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall no leavened bread be seen with thee. neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, This is done because of what Yahweh did unto me which Yahweh did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thy hand, and for a memorial between thine eyes, that Yahweh's law be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand hath Yahweh brought thee out of Egypt. Now we know those are the phylacteries.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Great shot.
That's
And see,
right.
you know, it's significance that we sit down with our sons, our daughters, our family, and go over this word with them. You know, and because they're in a land full of heresies on every side.
That's right. History being rewritten.
Exactly.
Told.
Right.
Exactly.
Verse 10. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in his season from year to year.
Okay.
And it shall be when Yahweh shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, as he sware unto thee, and to thy fathers, and shall give it thee, that thou shalt set apart unto Yahweh
Here it is.
all that openeth the matrix, and every firstling that cometh of a beast which thou hast, the male shall be Yahweh's. And every firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb. And if thou wilt not redeem it, then thou shalt break his neck. And all the firstborn of man among thy children shall thou redeem.
You got to redeem them. They belong to Yahweh.
Yes,
Right.
sir. Verse 14. And it shall be, when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, What is this? That thou shalt say unto him, By strength of hand Yahweh brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that Yahweh slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beasts. Therefore I sacrifice to Yahweh all that openeth the matrix, being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem. And it shall be for a token upon thine hand, and for frontlets between thine eyes, for by strength of hand Yahweh brought us forth out of Egypt.
Those phylacteries.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah.
And it came to pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that Elohim led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near.
Okay.
For Elohim said, Lest peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to
So
Egypt.
they know. See, Yahweh, that's,
They skittish.
yeah. But they, you know, like children. They ain't been like that. They've been captives.
Yeah.
See, you've been enslaved for so long. You ain't been out there fighting. You ain't been a nation yet.
They're going to run right back to Egypt.
Exactly. See, we've been shooting and murdering and carrying on in communities, our people, but they've not been proven in war. They've been proven in crime.
Yeah.
Crime is different than war.
That's it. What's the war zone?
Or their
Oh
father.
man.
They couldn't take it.
Right. They begging about that.
Yeah, let me back to prison. I want to go back to prison. Prison was all right.
Yes, sir. Verse 18. But Elohim led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea. And the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. And Moshe took the bones of Joseph with him. We talked about that.
Yep.
For he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, Elohim will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones away hence with you.
Right?
And they took their journey from Succoth, and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness. And Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud, to lead them the way.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. And by night in a pillar of fire, to give them light, to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people.
Man, seeing all
Praise
these,
Yah.
seeing all these things, and we see all these things before us. Okay. Chapter 14.
But you know,
hold on for 1 minute. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
like, you know what you said about that communion with the Christian, and when you keep it every month. They missed this verse 10.
Okay.
But thou shalt keep this ordinance in its season from year to year.
Right.
You know, they don't follow scripture. And
But the scripture don't really apply to us. That's that Old Testament. We got a new thing.
So that means we can't go out there and kill them. We can kill folks. It's in the Old Testament.
Well, the new covenant is in the Old Testament. So if
That's what we
there is
just
a
read
covenant,
last night. That's
I mean,
right.
How do you avoid the Old Testament?
Exactly. We went through the brother class. We went in there with the new covenant was in Jeremiah 31,
31 to 34.
So get rid of old. And, come on. And that's why you know, how do you reconcile what you read in the New Covenant in Jeremiah 31?
And then, I mean, okay,
That's
so
what they're saying.
well, they'll go to the Gospels. But what was the Gospel? The good news was that salvation was of the Jews, was that the Messiah came back to redeem them. That was the good news.
That's right.
They
That's
had
good
been
news.
cast off.
That's a good news for them.
You know.
I'm telling you, man. You know, I once run into a brother at work. He was like, "Man, everything done away with. There's only too long now, you know, because it's on." I said, "Man, it's written in the Old. Go in the Old. Go to the book of Deuteronomy." He was, I mean, he's like,
No, I'm asking how much time we got.
yeah.
We're right.
Okay. When I opened the book and showed it to him, he was dumb. I said, yes.
Dumbfounded.
Yeah, he was dumb. Totally dumb. But
let's do this. I want to go ahead and start. Okay, I want to do 14.
Okay, I was verse 4 in that same chapter. I just want to say something about verse 4 because we know certain.
What chapter? Chapter 13.
The same chapter. Yeah. When he said, "This day came you out in the month of Abib." We know our people went out of Egypt on a full moon. You know, right in the middle of the month. But we know some, especially our brothers, they're still keeping the full moon as the first of the month. Something is not right with that. That's why they pay us to read. Not only to read, you know, but to meditate on the word, you know, that we read every day or every Shabbat. Yeah. Go ahead, man.
That's a great point.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, and I think that's where we need to. Let me look here. I think that's one of the. When you look at this book, where we have given you, Yahweh is full of instruction. By Moshe, the Torah is instruction. That's what it's all about. Torah means instruction.
That's right.
We read that that the nations think to change times and laws.
Exactly.
Right? So we see that Yahweh told Moshe, you guys came out in this is the first day. This is going to be the beginning of months.
Right.
That's the beginning.
Yeah.
So we know that the Caesar, the Julius Caesar, declared at one point they used to observe April as the beginning.
Right.
And so now we have a holiday, April Fools.
Right.
Practicing that old tradition.
It's April Fool.
Yeah.
That's what it was saying. It's April Fool. You know, so now we see it's a whole lot of traditions and things that have been broken. But Yahweh has not changed.
No. Yeah, exactly. He's left his people here and those who are walking in his way as a testimony. He always got his saints that are here as a testimony. We're here as a testimony to these things. But we must follow these things.
Yeah.
And to know that that is the truth. Well, listen, let's try to go ahead and let's kind of explore the book of that. We had 2 hours, we got time. Let's see what's going on with Pharaoh in Exodus chapter 14, Uriah.
Right.
Okay.
Did you just finish reading? Uriah? Okay.
Okay, Exodus chapter 14, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel that they turn and encamp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea over against Baal-Zephon, before it shall you encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, They are entangled in the land, the wilderness has shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptian may know that I am Yahweh, and they did so.
And see, nothing changes with Yahweh. He continues to show you the prophets say later on, but he said he does nothing without first until he tells his prophet.
That's right.
He goes tell Moshe, this is what I'm going to do.
That's right.
This is how it's going to roll.
That's right. Verse 5. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people, and they said, Why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us?
See, someone told me today, see, you serve these people. if you make up in your, if 40 million black people make up their mind to do something for themselves and do that which is right, they're not going to let it happen.
You know what's going to happen, my elder? The economy is going to go through the earth.
Right. You're here to serve them. You're not here to serve yourselves. So no matter if it's economically, we're going to work by ourselves. We're going to keep giving everybody everything. Spending every dollar we get with the new immigrants from all over who have been given carte blanche to come to the country and our communities and make a fortune, and you don't even bother them. You're not shooting down Arabs in the street, nor should you shoot anybody down. But they're not the victims of why are black people the only people, the random crime, random violence by police, it seems, that's overabundant. So you don't pull down any other people like that. You're not putting down East Indians over. You're not putting down Asians, any part of Asia, the Muslim Arabs. And you've been at war with them the whole time. All right? And we've been fighting those people in those lands, but they're here living peacefully. They can ride around all day long, walk anywhere they want to walk. But Israel, who built the place, you see him on the spot. You know, so it's not always our people causing trouble, because they got two laws.
That's right.
Israel's at the bottom, and they made sure. But Yahweh said, "You've been dealing with our people a certain way, but you know that's okay. But all our people got to do is change their mind and seek Yahweh.
That's right.
Yahweh let His Spirit go to them. You can't do anything with them.
That's right.
See, they can save they can get together economically. You can destroy them, like you've always done historically, from Tulsa to Rosewood up here to all parts of Georgia. Destroy economies, destroy communities. You did it without nobody can stop you.
That's right. So
But
you take it to something physical.
But if they get their mind on Yahweh, then you know it. If these people here, because they influence everybody in all kind of other stuff,
Right.
Music, dress, dialect, yeah. But once they get their mind and say, look, we are the people of the book. We're Yahweh's people. We're not going to serve you or your gods no more.
Why you think Yahweh preserved this book?
Come on, brother, so we can have that's right. So we can look back and find ourselves.
If Yahweh didn't care for his people, then he would have let them I mean, they made attempts. They burned the books. We know what happened in the Catholic period.
Yeah.
And they instituted laws. No one could read. You know, they burned the books.
Right.
But Yahweh preserved
He
them.
preserved them. He got Pharaoh. He controls their hearts too. They can't do anything. That's why they couldn't kill Moshe. Like how you gonna kill Moshe? Yahweh ain't said you gonna touch Moshe.
Come on, man.
You're gonna go back and forth with him.
He made him a god.
Right.
He told
That's what he did. He made
him his
him.
heart.
Right.
That's what's on. But afterwards, he's gonna let you out. That's what he told him.
So we'll let you out.
How they gonna kill him? And then Yahweh swear to lie.
They can't.
Yahweh told Pharaoh, for this purpose, I've already raised you up.
And see how fast they can.
That's deep, man.
And you know, and see, and you will see the same thing. And you will see the same thing in America, right in verse 5. Why have we done this? That we have let Israel go. They didn't want to let you. They hate you so much, but their fathers didn't want to let you go from that bondage because you made the country wealthy.
That's right.
Let's teach the truth. If the black folks so worthless, why did you let them go?
Right. Why didn't you kick them out of the land? Well, that would have made Yahweh's word a lie.
That's right.
And how would they be saved?
That's right.
Because it wasn't all of them that happened, that were pleased with the condition.
Right.
They were some, I mean, look at the abolitionists.
Exactly. That's part of
I
it.
mean, we know that that's not the full story.
Right.
So we're not giving a pass. Because
No.
Yahweh's not going to give no
No,
pass.
Yahweh's not
He's
getting
not going to
pass.
respect no person.
Not for this country. Yeah.
No.
You know what you've been doing.
So we give credit where it's due.
We give credit where it's
There was those who assisted our people.
In fact, if they didn't, we couldn't have the Underground Railroad.
Correct.
That's correct.
It couldn't have been an Underground Railroad.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you know, the funny thing about Christianity, the people, we're in all these Baptists and whatever, but but guess who the Christians that were doing the most? Those Quakers. You know, back in the day, they were the ones on that railroad hard. We don't want to be Quakers, though. I guess I don't know, but you want to be up next to Massa his religion, and he ain't thinking about it.
And you know, we read our history, we read the book, and we read about Moshe. Moshe is revered in any. They made movies about Moshe, right? Well,
Oh yeah,
they not. They called a female Moses. Didn't they have a female?
Woman called Moses.
They had a woman called Moses.
yeah.
Oh, no.
Herb Tubman.
Herb
That's
Tubman.
what they call it.
Okay.
How would you believe the things that she did?
Right.
I mean, it was men who couldn't deal and do the things that she did.
I was talking about that today with the sister. I said, this woman said she would have gotten more out of, she went back, putting her own life in jeopardy.
Of course.
Under the free slaves. And she said, I paraphrase that, she could have freed more if they had known that they were slaves.
That's
They
correct.
had been so conditioned, where can I go other than this place?
Yeah.
So they did a number on our people. That's why I understand, we understand why any talk about critical race theory or anything like that, I don't care about all that. But let's just talk about the truth. You can't teach American history. You can't tell your children what kind of people y'all are.
No.
Let's be honest.
No.
You cannot, I understand why white America can't do that.
Well, their children are talking on it now.
Their children look at them and say, you are beasts.
Yeah.
You were beasts.
Yeah.
And you don't got all this wealth accumulated and you still treat these people like this and you stole and murdered and did everything you could do to
Come
them.
on, man. Come
And
on.
our people shouldn't let them off the hook neither.
No.
Stop. You ain't got to teach them at home. You used to teach them at home. Now they ain't got no sense. They go out here with these people with no knowledge and they kill them. The police just take them out. Because you think that they're equal and they're free. Well, freedom is a construct. Right?
Yeah.
Are you free? You can't, you're free in America, but you can't take this to Russia. You can't take this to certain parts of the continent of Africa and Asia and South America. You only got rights, constructed rights here.
Right. Correct.
Stop talking about your rights. You're a free woman here, but you can't talk that stuff in Saudi Arabia. You can't do that there. You can't do that anywhere in the world.
No.
So you have been, America, the West have civilized certain things to allow you to get, but that civilization, that civilizing came on the blood of our people.
That's right.
We the ones that make the place livable in America for everybody else to enjoy. And they look at us with contempt.
So they lay traps and snares.
Right. Right after slavery. What y'all standing around for? Well, you gotta go to jail. Loitering. Put you back in that field.
Right.
Wow.
Doing Jim Crow.
Legally.
Right, legally. And that's what's in the 13th Amendment. You cannot, why would they put it, why would they draft it in such a way? There's no more slavery, except if you get arrested. Well, everybody, why you gotta put it there for the brothers?
Correct.
You knew what you were gonna do. You ain't got it there for no other citizens. They should be citizens.
Yeah.
No exception. You gotta put a little proviso.
By the way.
By the way.
Right.
But they can be arrested in prison for breaking the law.
And all your rights.
But that would apply to everybody.
We read that statistic.
38%,
38%.
man. Come on, bro. But these are the things that we got. But that goes back to Isaiah 42. They're all snared and holes and hidden in prison house.
That's right.
That's what we talked about.
For a prey.
And you're for a prey. And you got, they are after you and Satan's after you. Satan's after you spiritually because he knows who you are. He don't want you to come back to the truth. He don't want you to repent. He wants you to stay where you are. He wants you to continue doing what you're doing. If you're fornicating, keep on fornicating. If you cheat, if you have an adultery, brother, you ain't doing nothing wrong, sister. He ain't no good. She ain't no good. She don't. Keep on letting it go.
Keep on doing what you're doing.
Right. Keep on lying, backbiting. Keep on being involved in sexual behavior that is not of the book. Keep on doing that life.
That's right.
That's okay. You okay. You free. You got rights.
Right.
Until we'll see how those rights are going to go. You're going to be more like to eat instead of that right.
Okay.
Keep on reading.
We're in the book
of some food.
We're in the book of Exodus 14, verse 6. And he made ready his chariot.
It's parallel, right?
Yeah, this is unfair, yeah. And let me read verse 6.
And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt and captains over every one of them.
He took his best, didn't he?
Yeah, have to.
Man.
Have to.
Why have we done? Everybody forgot. They forgot. They forgot what had happened.
Easily. Okay.
That's how it goes,
That's
right?
how it is, man.
Yeah.
That's how you know who Yahweh's in control of all things.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Verse 8. And Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with a high hand. But the Egyptian pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea beside Pihar Hiroth before Baal Zephon.
That's why I want you to read this, so I have to pronounce it. Hey.
Oh man.
I
Okay.
don't want me to pronounce it. You do it, bro. I don't want to do it.
Verse 10. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, oh no, man, you gotta be by tongue, man.
I'm sorry, brother.
You full of it,
Hey,
man.
man, none of you, man.
Let me start by verse 10, man. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptian marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto Yahweh.
Praise God.
And they said unto Moshe, because there were no graves in Egypt.
Here you go.
as
Here
thou-
it is. This is where it starts, right?
Yeah. Hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore art thou dealt thus with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? Verse 12. Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptian, for it had been better for us to serve the Egyptian than that we should die in the wilderness.
So the mouth speaks from the abundance of the heart.
Yeah.
That despite what they saw, they were still slaves. They were still a weak people. They felt a weakness.
Yeah.
And so they cried out to Yahweh first. They can't see Yahweh. Now we know this, right?
Yes.
They cried out to Yahweh, but they can see his man,
That's right.
Moshe.
Yep.
We told you.
We told you.
Right.
Leave us alone, man. Let us continue to be slaves.
Maybe we were better off than you.
Mm.
But a slave.
Right.
That's the mindset.
Right. That's what they do.
They don't want to be free.
This is what the audacity.
That's
My way.
No, it's the same thing that you were saying about hard stuff.
Yeah, right,
He
right.
got free more.
They
But
free
they didn't
more.
realize that
They were slaves. They didn't realize.
mindset.
Yeah.
You see, that's why people they have the audacity to talk about Martin King and all these. But why are you are living off of the Yahweh used these men.
Yeah.
We live in the benefits of it.
You think like that? Well, stop taking the benefits of it. You haven't done nothing like these men
That's right.
have done.
That's right.
But the minute trouble come, oh, let them see. We went backward because what the king do to you? Besides telling Pharaoh to let these people go.
Let these people go.
That's what Martin did.
That's real.
And the rest of them did. A whole generation of black people stood up.
Yeah.
Not all of them stood up. Because some of them went in the house, leave us alone.
That's right.
Right? But guess what? But when the opportunities came, guess what?
They all jumped,
They got
jumped
it
on
first.
board.
They
Yeah.
jumped on first.
Yeah.
I jumped out. I was telling a story how I'll tell it later. But nevertheless, continue, my brother.
Verse 13. And Moshe said unto the people, fear you not, stand still, and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptian whom you seen today, you shall see them again no more forever. Yahweh shall fight for you, and you shall hold your peace.
That's how we have to be as individual men and women sometimes. Let Yahweh fight for you.
That's right.
When you jump in the midst and kind of take vengeance and check somebody, do all these different things, Yahweh said, well, look, brother, I want you stay still.
I got it.
I can do this in a way that you can't.
Yeah.
That's right.
I can do something I can go 40 years ahead of you. You don't know what's going on. I'll take care of that. You keep walking in your integrity. I got you.
That's right.
I'm gonna fight. You hold your peace. Look at it. Look what Yahweh did. Yeah, no. I got them. Egyptians don't have that. They don't get you enough. Same thing with America. She can project her power, but at some point, when you get tired of being a slave, you're gonna turn to Yahweh.
Yeah.
And I mean slave to sin. That's what you're a slave to now.
That's right.
They don't gave you a beautiful platter to eat off of wickedness. You can eat a little bit of this, a little bit of drugs, a little bit of dope, you know, all the things. And that's the stuff you enjoy. That beautiful platter, your enemies, your predators have laid out to you. You're such a foolish, in your mind, that's the prey. You put your hand in there, I got some cocaine. Matter of fact, I'm gonna steal some crack. I can make some money. And what you doing? They don't have to shoot you down. They got tutu shooting. What's his name? You gonna do the killing.
Yeah.
White folks ain't gotta chase you through the neighborhood no more. We the prey from our children.
That's right.
Our children. I'm sorry. Our children. What?
We become predators.
Yeah, the children are killing you. You scared of your own children. Go ahead.
Man, look at the law that the governor signed, where you can just walk into the store and just purchase a firearm.
Right.
I mean, if you look on the street now, I mean, most of our, look at our people.
They carrying weapons.
They carry and they're hanging it
Extended.
out. Extended clip.
I saw a guy the other day just walking in the park.
I was just talking to my partner yesterday.
Is it a wild west going on right now?
Right.
It is.
Because they go.
It's by design.
It's by design. Because
You're absolutely right.
It's to help. It's not for the people who's buying it to be able to get guns. The people want to have protection against you.
Against
You
white
know
people.
understand? But it's entrapment now. It is entrapment because they're gonna come for them same ones now.
You see, they know.
Is it depopulation or what?
We don't have to touch you like Ella said.
They can't touch you because you're gonna get the gun to shoot somebody look like you.
Yeah.
That's why you got.
Absolutely.
That's why you got the gun.
Yeah.
You want to kill your very neighbor who you grew up with.
Yeah.
You want to. They're killing brothers. Brothers are killing brothers out here. Man, they accuse him of shooting his own brother. I'm not gonna bring up the whole thing about it, but that happens every day. So when they give you a gun, brothers, so-called black people, what are you gonna do? You're not. The last thing on your mind is shooting or defending yourself against a white man.
No.
You would shoot me before you touch a so-called white man. Matter of fact, when the white people threaten you, what do you do on YouTube? All you got is to set the cell phone out. Leave it alone. Don't take my camera.
Right.
But when you go to your own people,
Yeah.
Right.
you throwing hands.
You're ready to squeeze that trigger.
And that's what Moshe said. Hey, y'all are brothers. Why are you doing this?
Right.
And
Who made you a god?
Then they're gonna tell us, who made you
Right.
God? Who made you a prince over us?
You snitch.
You already on snitch on you already. Moses, Moshe. You know. So these are the things that we got to look at
Yeah.
in our community. You got that license to kill. The other people get it to defend themselves against people who don't look like them.
Now you don't need a license.
Right. So and they know who to run up on. Our people are very well conditioned. Because when you put your hand on the wrong people, all hell gonna break loose on you.
That's right.
And you know you're going away forever.
That's right.
And ever and ever. Right? And they're gonna kill you when they catch up with you. If they're gonna kill you first before they arrest you. So, but again, wickedness, sin, left and right.
Running rampant, man.
But for no reason. And if we wanted them to fight in the war, they wouldn't want to go. I ain't gonna go fight for this country. Well, you let, I said, Tutu gonna blow your brains out on the sidewalk. And your mama and daddy will get a dime for that.
Since the time
They can't even bury you.
That's right.
Since Yeshua was his death, burial, and resurrection, there's been an influx of demons on the earth.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they all in America.
Absolutely there. You're
They
right.
all in America. And you can't look.
Wickedness, place of darkness. You're right. Man.
Right. And you walk around with these weapons, you have to be careful. You can't look at these people. You can be driving, just turn your head in the car. They think you're looking at them.
Feel free.
Yeah.
And they'll follow you. They'll follow you somewhere and hurt you. But through the blood of Yahshua HaMashiach, we're covered. You know? And that's why I don't even blow my horn. When this brother talks sometimes, I might say, hey, leave him alone, you. Leave him alone, you. I said, no, I ain't messing with him. But I know, but you know, I can't do that because I have my child in my car. I can't be getting into these people.
You got folks that are emotionally unstable.
Totally.
Yeah.
Unstable.
They got weapons.
And they got a weapon.
Oh, man.
Come on, man. Continue, man. But that's just the way it is.
Verse 15. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward.
See there? And that's, I love Yahweh when he say that. Moshe make a thing, Yahweh should fight for you. And he did this, what is that? And Moshe said to the people, but he must say, hey, man, get the business done.
Yeah.
Now Yahweh gives us all the tools that we need to take care of business.
That's what I said before.
That's
right?
That's right.
So all that crying to me, why y'all talking about that?
Right.
Like we cry to Yahweh. Now we cry to Yahweh. We're supposed to cry to Yahweh. Yeah, Yahweh gets that glory, but He's giving us the things that we need to do.
Won't you do it? That's the thing. Get up and do
Why
it.
you crying to me, Moshe? Man, take care of
I already gave you the staff. You got all the power. You know it's going to
Why you
end.
crying to me?
Well, they started complaining at me.
See,
Now,
he crying to Yahweh.
Yahweh said, man, I love
Why
that.
you crying to me, man?
Moshe, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward. Tell them to go forward.
Okay.
Praise Yah. Keep on
Praise
reading.
Yahweh. Verse 16. But lift thou up thy rod and stretch out thine hand over the sea and divide it, and the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. And I will get me honor
There it is
upon
again.
Pharaoh,
Right.
and upon all his hosts, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptian shall know that I am Yahweh when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the angel of Elohim, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them.
Okay.
And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptian and the camp of Israel, and it was a cloud and darkness to them. But it gave light by night to these, so that the one came near, not near the other all the night.
So that pillar of fire by night in the cloud
Of darkness.
that was an angel.
Yeah.
To let you know that's a spiritual being.
Yeah.
It was an angel, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Verse 21. And Moshe stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided.
Wow.
And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left.
So now you got this baptism
That's right.
that's going on, people. This is Israel going through that baptism. This is in the wilderness. They're getting
That's right.
that baptism now.
That's right.
And we'll show you that later, but this is the baptism. But now imagine you walking in the sea. You got the wall of water.
Right. You might see sharks.
Exactly. You might see anything, sharks and stuff.
Like you've been to
Fish.
the aquarium.
Exactly.
Literally.
Yeah,
literally.
You're like, man, what?
That's why people scared of water.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know,
Freaking
it
out.
took faith.
That took faith. And it's a darkness that they can't even see them. The Egyptians can't see them, right?
You can now.
Because they can't even see them.
Until they remove that cloud.
These are wonderful. That's why you can't just keep reading. I have to stop
Correct.
over these things so you can see that these are miracles that our forefathers went through. Witnessing. Exactly. Nobody's seen Yahweh work like this but our Father. We're the only people that know that there is a God.
He said, "You are my witnesses."
There it is.
Not the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Not the Jehovah's, not the Catholic Church.
That's right.
On that. Verse 23. And the Egyptian pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's houses, his chariot and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watch Yahweh looked unto the host of the Egyptian through the pillar of fire.
Read that again.
Verse 24. And it came to pass that in the morning watch Yahweh looked unto the host of the Egyptian through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians.
Okay.
25.
and took off their chariot wheels, that they drove them heavily.
Okay.
So that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel,
It's too late now.
for Yahweh fighteth for them against the Egyptians.
Ain't that something Moses said that? Y'all were gonna fight for
the whole time.
the whole time.
Yeah.
It's always about you, getting you out of Egypt. Same thing,
Man.
it's one thing can be the same thing here.
That's
All this is happening to get us out of this country.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
things that we're going through. You're
Yeah.
you're not supposed to stay here.
That's
You're here for a period of time.
Correct.
You're sojourning here in America. This is not your home.
Temporary state.
The temporary stay. It was 430 years with our fathers, 400 with you. But Yahweh will determine everything else
He said afterwards.
afterwards.
You come up with great stuff.
I'm
But
hoping to.
looking at this, the Most High Yahweh have a history of defending the children of Israel.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Verse 26. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, stretch out thine hand over the sea,
Wow.
That
They're
the
on the
water-
other side, they don't cross over now.
yeah,
Okay.
that the waters may come again upon the Egyptian, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. And Moshe stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptian fled against it. And Yahweh overthrew the Egyptian in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen, and all the hosts of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of
Now,
them.
Pharaoh wasn't with them, right? He just sent them out there, right? Is that right?
I mean,
I don't think Pharaoh with them. He's in the army, correct?
a leader sometime, our chief, they don't really go
Yeah, he says,
engage,
he says
engage their
commanders
command.
out.
Yeah.
So he had a great defeat that day. So you got to know you've been defeated by one that's greater than you.
Yeah.
You lost your best soldiers.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You finished?
No, I'm not finished. I was looking for something, but I'll go ahead. Verse 29. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on the right and on the left. Thus Yahweh saved Israel that day out of the hands of the Egyptian, and Israel saw the Egyptian dead upon the seashore. And Israel saw that great work which Yahweh did upon the Egyptian, and the people fear Yahweh and believe Yahweh and his servant Moshe.
Praise Yah.
Praise
Yah. And that's going to today bring in to our Sabbath class discussion, which was entitled Exodus, the plagues of Egypt, Part 2. And so we're going to end the class officially right now. And as our custom, we're going to stop, and I'm going to give the brothers opportunity to comment or go with some more information. But the official class has ended. Go ahead, my brother. Start with you.
Man, you know what's so beautiful about this class, man, to see the in-depth. I would praise Yahweh for, the spirit that, He has given to our deacon,
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Praise Yah. Got that good workout.
That work called, come, and I would say it came up with a name with all the gods that Yahweh had judged in Egypt. But, we know that there's no thing new under the sun. And we are in Egypt now, and we know that there's a bunch of God over here too.
Of course.
So Yahweh is coming to judge these gods over here.
American God.
American gods.
There's a movie about that.
That's right.
On what I think it's on what's that television station network? Not Netflix. It's a series, but it's not on Netflix.
It's not a Netflix.
Stars.
Okay.
Stars, I believe. American Gods. They had 1 season, 2 seasons, maybe, but the first season is the best. And it gives you an understanding. It's based on a book, American Gods. But it gives you an understanding that they're, like Elder Uriah, you said it, the very gods. And one of the gods throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, these are names of gods. And one of the main gods in the movie was Wednesday, right? And the Wednesday the North God, what's his name?
Thor.
No, not Thor.
Thor.
It's I think he's the father of Thor.
Okay.
But yeah, the God, the God named after Wednesday. I can't.
Freak.
Freak. Oh, freak.
Yeah,
Freak. They're freak.
I mean Wednesday. I'm sorry, Wednesday. I meant Wednesday. Wednesday, he's one of the primary gods, and they called him in the movie Mr. Wednesday.
Oh, Woden.
Or Wudan or Woden.
Yeah.
So Woden, and they called him. But see, even though you may not be worshiping in the premise of the movie, that TV show American Gods, even though you may not be worshiping them, but by that very day is given honor. They know that they've given honor to their God, Woden. And then Thursday, they said Friday, Sunday, all those gods, and these are the things. Like you said earlier, you're going to deal with the gods of the land, and they're many. They're mad over their idols.
That's right.
So
every day of the week is named after a god.
yeah. It's every day of the week. So, but again, does that mean we can't say the name? No, it just means that you know that you're in the dawn of Babylon.
Yeah.
That confirms where you are. You're in the land of confusion. Just because now you know about the various gods. And it should let you know. But go ahead, you finish, but I didn't cut it to your time.
But no, that's okay, man. I'm almost down to finishing away. But to know that, I said, praise Yahweh for this history, that He has given unto us. I know that history is going to repeat itself. So knowing that there is no strength in their gods. And
Exactly.
Fear not their gods.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at gods now, AI, or they're creating things.
That's right.
They're trying to create life
That's right.
out of their technology, and they may succeed. Who knows what this beast will be in these things? But exactly.
Yeah.
So we don't never know. He's giving power to them.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's it, man.
Brother Obadiah.
Elder, praise God for the class. I don't have much. We're dealing with these gods of Egypt and the gods that are in this land.
Right.
Our people are caught up into all kind of idol worship, and but what we need to do is get back to our Father, Yahweh, because even in the midst of all the plagues that were happening upon Egypt, Yahweh gave His people peace in the midst of all of that.
That's right.
And He separated them. And so we see the same thing is happening today.
Right.
He's given us an opportunity to use this time to seek Him while He may be found.
Exactly.
Give us that covering that we need and protection. So it's like Moshe said, be still and see the salvation of your God.
Exactly.
So that's we trust in Yahweh.
Right.
As terrible as the times are, this should increase our faith because these things were written. So this should show us, man, Yahweh is on the money, but He didn't tell them He cannot lie. There's the one thing He cannot do. So the things that we're seeing, it fulfills prophecy. It should confirm that what we've been told and what we read is real. We just read about the Red Sea.
Yeah.
And the archaeologists they believed
Right.
that these things were true because they went to go seek inside the Red Sea.
Those chariots. They found some stuff, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
Of course.
Now some people are trying to dispute it and say, "Oh no, this is not real," but they know these things are real.
They know.
They know these things are real because they went and they could still look and go confirm Egypt and go confirm that Moses was written in Egyptian history.
Exactly.
My deacon, guess what they use?
Exactly. So seek Yahweh while He can be found.
Yeah.
I think that's I think that sums it up. For us to tell you, you need to seek after Yahweh with all your heart and mind and soul. Seek after Him. He's put people. He's waking us up to be here to teach and to not to exalt ourselves, but to exalt Him, so that you will know that He does have saints out here that are trying to wake you up, to lead you in the right path.
That's right.
I don't get nothing out of this except to do the will of my Father. This brother gets nothing out of this except to do the will of his Father. Same with this brother here. And all those who have been under the blood of Mashiach. But we love our people. We want you to know that, Yahweh takes no, what is it? He takes no gratification in sin and death, killing you. Have you died? No, that's not Him. but he wants you're going to have to do what he say do. And our people got to repent. You know, you're doing a lot of wickedness. You're doing a lot of wickedness. And your handlers are letting you do it because they know you're destroying yourself with your music, Satan's and all that stuff. It's time to say what it is. Satan has taken your music that started out as a good thing.
That's right.
Now it's perverted. Satan took it over.
That's right.
You're honoring Satan. Murder, misogyny, everything. But thank Yahweh for this Sabbath.
Praise Him.
And that we are able and then have the privilege to be here today and to read out of this holy legacy. And with that, my brother, I appreciate you. Praise Yah. I appreciate you, my elder brother. Praise Yah.
Praise.
And we certainly thank Yahweh for allowing all of you to join us in keeping Yahweh's Sabbath. And also, go ahead. And the new moon. And so we're thankful for these things. And with that, again, continue to, we got the classes are still on YouTube and Facebook.
That's right.
And where else, brother?
Twitch.
Twitch.
That's right.
And so.
And we're on Instagram as well.
And we're on Instagram as well.
Check us out.
So we got a lot of things coming. Yahweh give us the strength to do those things. And until we see you next Shabbat, I guess Shabbat Shalom, everybody.